All right, everybody can see that?
Yeah.
Good. This is creating a Plex server. This is going to be part one. I'm going to do part two sometime later. An alternative title for this could be what to do with a Windows 10 PC that does not meet Windows 11 requirements. So what is a Plex server and why should you want one? A Plex media server allows you to store, organize, that's the important part, and access all your media information from one centralized location. Now, this could include your collection of theatrical movies and TV shows from DVDs and Blu-ray discs, your home movies that you've probably created over the last several decades, your photos, which you've probably created over many more decades, and music, the audio CDs, as well as music-related performances from DVD and Blu-ray discs. So by installing the Plex app on your portable devices, you have another way to access your media collection. So what to know about Plex? Well, there's a free version, and actually the good news is most of the features of Plex are available in this free version. The paid version is known as the Plex Pass. That'll run you either $5 a month, $40 a year, or $120 for a lifetime subscription. That Plex Pass offers additional features that include the ability for offline viewing of your collection, as well as being able to DVR shows if you are connected to a digital antenna. Your Plex server must always be on for the content to be accessed. That makes sense. And now Plex is legal with licensing agreements common to the industry. Now, here's the key. Plex users must hold the license to own or view the media they provide themselves, meaning that once you've copied and loaded and ripped all your discs to the server, you cannot sell or even give away that DVD or Blu-ray collection that have been saved to the server. So what is a Plex media server requirements? What do they require? Well, I have a 7-year-old HP Envy desktop that I've used for quite a while. It's running the latest version of Windows 10, and that was my main PC until several months back. I replaced it in 2021 with a newer computer. So this is a very serviceable computer today. It has 16 gig of RAM. It has 2 hard drives, a 2 terabyte solid state drive, plus a 2 terabyte hard drive. But and here's the big but, the AMD A10 processor does not meet Windows 11 requirements. And it's a large yeah.
Ray, are you showing a PowerPoint?
Yes.
You're not sharing your screen.
I thought I did. Let me go back. Thank you for
seeing it. I'm seeing it.
Everybody else is seeing it.
Yeah, we're seeing it. Look on your other monitor.
Okay, thank you.
You're fine, Ray.
Thank you for bailing me out. It's a large tower model, so that would be expensive to ship it if I were to sell this unit on eBay. So as I learned more about the capabilities and benefits of a Plex server or the Plex app, I felt this older computer would be a good candidate to convert to a Plex server. Additionally, the Plex app can run on a variety of other operating systems besides Windows, including Linux, Mac, and those associated with what we call a NAS, a network attached storage device. Okay, when I did not have an extra monitor, I temporarily used a 46-inch Sony TV for my Plex server. So how about that? That is big. The 2 monitors to the right that I use every day, they're both 27-inch monitors. So this will give you an idea of how big it is. It was temporary. I finally found another extra monitor in the garage that I wasn't using, and I've swapped it. But that's what it looks like when you put a TV monitor set up as your monitor for your server. And on the right-hand side, that's what the tower looks like, a typical full-size tower. So the requirements, you'll see the term transcoding. And that's the process of converting an audio or video file from one digital format to another, so it can be played on a variety of devices that may not support the original method it was created for. And the perfect example are CDs, DVDs, and Blu-ray discs. These can only be played on an optical drive. The computer's processor plays an important role with the speed of transcoding. Now, Plex recommends a minimum of an Intel i3 processor, but if multiple people in the home might be streaming different sources from the Plex server simultaneously, then a more powerful multi-core processor may be necessary. All right, here comes the fun part, converting your movie discs to computer files. So there's several software products on the market today that will convert your disks. These are the two free ones I use. Handbrake. I use this primarily for ripping DVDs. Handbrake is easy to use and does a very good job with DVDs, but most of the time it has difficulty with the DRM, digital rights management, on Blu-ray discs. Then there's one called Make MKV. I use this primarily for Blu-ray discs. It is able to bypass the DRM, but the file ends up being quite large. And if you want to save hard disk space, this requires a second converting process using Handbrake to make it an MP4 file. Now, optical drive for DVDs will not play Blu-ray discs. I think we all know that. And new laptops no longer offer optical drives at all. So what did I do? Well, the optical drive HP capable of playing a DVD disc. I purchased this external Blu-ray DVD driver, connects to the USB 3.0 or USB Type-C. Cost $89.99 on Amazon. But this fast connection options allow for the Blu-ray ripping process to be about 6 times faster than the actual.
Ray, your audio is being violated. Check it.
Thank you. Plex movies, Plex. Movie convert server.
Your internet connection, I think, is you're in very clear.
Okay. Next time.
You got something else in the background that's holding it off.
Have you got anything else running in the background?
Turn off your video.
If I turn on my Zoom video, I'll.
No, your camera.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
No, we haven't.
Share yourself again, Ray, and see if that's.
Yeah, I'm sharing.
And go back, just
I'm
see if
back
that.
here from the.
You're sounding okay now.
Okay.
You're fine.
Okay, thank you. Let's go from the current slide here. All right, so with your movies converted to computer files and saved on your server, you can view them from streaming devices that have the Plex client. This would include smart TVs and those with the add-on devices like the Amazon Fire Stick or Roku, as well as your smartphone. If you enjoy using streaming services like Netflix and Amazon Prime Video to watch your favorite movies, then you'll really appreciate a Plex server for many of the same reasons as you watch your personal movie collection. Like CD players, DVD units are starting to disappear from homes as younger viewers opt for more modern ways to watch their favorite movies. DVD players are mostly mechanical units and will break down after much usage. No more DVD case storage issues to contend with. No worrying about damaging or misplacing a disc. Now, in my case, with close to 300 DVD and Blu-ray discs, I'm now actually rediscovering movies I forgot I had, or that were never played because they were stored on the bottom shelf of the bookcase. So when you organize your media, you're going to want to do it in several categories. This is what I'm basically doing. I have my home videos rather, the family videos I've taken over the years. I have a category for all theatrical movies, one for music, one for photos, one for TV shows. I don't have too many there, and then just miscellaneous, anything else that will fit there. And when you do the movies, they tell you that the file name should be the exact title of the movie, and then in parentheses, you put the year it was released. This helps differentiate movies with the same exact title. And then what Plex does, it scrubs the internet. Mainly it goes to the Internet Movie Database and looks for a match, and then includes a copy of the movie poster and all kinds of other related information about the film and the starring actors. You can take your organization skills to the next level with movie subcategories like drama, mystery, comedy. So the major consideration, and this is what I'm facing, is how much storage space will you need on your server? It seems that every few years there's a new disk format that allows for greater storage capacity on a disk with newer mediums that store very high quality, very high definition video. The ripping process will reduce the size of the new file to be stored on the server. And just as a reminder, these are the maximum sizes of disks that we're dealing with today. Just a regular DVD is 4.7 gigabytes. A dual layer DVD is twice that. A single layer Blu-ray is 25 gigabytes, and a double layer Blu-ray disc is 50 gigabytes just for one movie. So the ripping process from a DVD to an MP4 file will reduce the size approximately by half, but still we're talking about very large sizes. Now, copyright and fair use doctrine. Here's something that I found really interesting. The legality of copying a legitimately owned DVD or Blu-ray disc is confusing to say the least. There's a fair use doctrine that allows commercially created movie discs, which we've legally purchased. We can copy them as the owner once for archival or backup purposes and for our personal use. But there's another law. It's called the DVD copyright law. And that states that cracking the code, digital rights management code, within the disc that was placed there to prevent copying, that's illegal. So anyway, based on the above, it becomes a personal decision if this is the process you want to pursue. So that's the website, plex.tv. You can check it out, and there's many other user videos on YouTube for further information and details. Now, when I've completed the ripping process and have organized my media files, I'll return with a part 2 using video clips showing how Plex actually works in my home. Thank you very much.
It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. 4 types of two-factor authentication, part 2. This video is the second of 2 I have made to describe two-factor authentication. I'll put the link of the first video in the description below. If you haven't viewed that yet, please watch that before you view part 2. Now, you remember the old like and subscribe. If you would please like this video and subscribe to the channel, that really helps us make more videos like this. So let's get on with the 4 types of two-factor authentication that you need to know about. Understanding these 3 myths about security makes two-factor authentication feel like snapping on your seatbelt. Myth number 1, passwords protect your account. Google has known this for the past 10 years. Passwords do not protect against the bad guys getting into your account. You may feel since you're using LastPass or a password manager, you're doing all the right things. You may be creating secure passwords for each account, but at the end of the day, passwords don't keep the bad guys out, and Google has known this for the past 10 years. That's why no one at Google uses passwords. We'll talk about what they use in a few minutes. Myth number 2, profile of a hacker. Hackers are not individual people, but are sophisticated bots that travel the internet looking for vulnerable people by gathering personal data. This requires enormous resources, so these are often state-sponsored or related to large criminal organizations. The rapid proliferation of attacks on Google is directly related to digital currency. Whether you are an individual investor or a country that now uses a national digital currency, it all must be stored in a digital wallet. Google has over 1 billion accounts, so this makes them a logical target and likely the reason it is implementing two-factor authentication program. Despite the large number of accounts hackers need to use to destroy and find the money, it is well worthwhile, as it is very profitable. Two-factor authentication is the only way to protect your account. So myth number 3 is I won't get hacked because I don't have anything of value. Well, that is true that you may not have any digital currency, but remember what I said is that these bots have to hack into an awful lot of accounts before they find one that is of value. And as they're attacking all these accounts, Google is deactivating them and trying to kill the bots. But in that process, your account is going to get deleted. So when you wake up in the morning, just think about it. Your email will be gone. All those thousands of Gmail that you use. Google Photos, you may have had your life's work in Google Photos, and you may have put all those old pictures up for your family. All your stuff in Google Drive will be gone. Your Google account will be gone. All right, these are my accounts that are protected by two-factor authentication. You'll see there's a long list of them, but Google is at the top. And the 4 types of two-factor authentication we're talking about today are related to your Google account. So you must then go into each of these other accounts and turn on two-factor authentication. You don't just turn on two-factor authentication for all accounts. It must be done for each individual account. All right, the simplest and most common method used is a text message. You go to log into your bank sends you an SMS text message, which gives you a 6-digit code. You then enter the 6-digit code and have access to your account. Now, even a simpler method is using an authenticator app. This is an app that you would download and place on your cell phone, and there are many people who make these apps. I've given you a list on the left side, and you'll see all of these companies make authenticator apps. The one I use is called Authy, A-U-T-H-Y, and I'll discuss how you might choose an app in just a moment. But the important thing for you to know is that all these apps are free. And all these apps will work in all accounts. So you don't have to have an app for each account. So don't worry about that. A question I always get asked is, which app should I use? And my advice is as follows. If you are a LastPass person and use LastPass all the time, you may want to use the LastPass app. If you're a Googler and use Google all the time, maybe you want to use the Google Authenticator app. If you are a Microsoft Windows person and you use mostly Windows products, then you maybe want to use the Microsoft app. These companies that make these apps are trying to make your life easier. And it depends on what services you use, how they can make this better. Let me give you an example. So you're in Walmart and you're standing there and you pull your phone out to go to your Amazon account because you want to check the price. All right, so you're in Google and you open that up, and then you go to Amazon and you say, okay, what's the price? But when you're getting into your account, you're stopped because you have to put in a 6-digit code, two-factor authentication. You then need to go into the next screen and open the Authenticator app to get the code. Now you're standing in Walmart and you have to remember a 6-digit code to move from one app to the other. You might have to get your pen and pencil out to do this so you remember that 6-digit number. Depends how good your memory is. But if you have the LastPass Authenticator app, it will automatically put the 6-digit code into your Amazon account for you and quickly get you in so you don't have to remember anything. So it makes it easier for you. And all these apps try to make things easier for you depending on how much you use the services. So you just have to try them and find which one works best for you. So let's show you how this works. You're going to go to your account, you go into security, and you're going to say, yes, I want to choose two-factor authentication, and we're going to use an app to do this. Now, when you click on the button that initiates this, you'll see a QR code come onto your screen. You're going to think, oh, what's this all about? Because what it says is, please use your authentication app to scan this code. And you're going to say, well, how am I going to scan this code? This is weird. It's on my computer screen. Well, you simply go to the Authenticator app on your phone. You open the app up, and there'll be a big plus button right in the center of the screen on your phone. You click that, and your phone will turn into a scanner. You simply take the phone over and point it towards the screen, and you'll hear a little bing, and that has created the account and started the authentication process on that account. You then look on the phone and there will be a 6-digit code there. You simply enter that in as the next step on your on the computer. Now, what actually has happened here? What is this process? And certainly the bad guys can download the app. Why wouldn't they be able to do the same thing? Well, what these are called time-based one-time passwords, or TOTP, and all it is a stopwatch. This app is simply a random number generator that does not have to be connected to the internet. It's simply, when you open the app up, it gives you a 6-digit code that it generates every 30 seconds. What you're doing when you pair the app on your phone to the computer screen is that you're starting the timer. And what the bad guys would never know is when that timer gets started and starts generating the random numbers in sequence every 30 seconds. So now when you want your 6-digit code, you don't have to receive a text message. All you have to do is open the app up, and all the codes for all your accounts are right there, and the numbers are changing every 30 seconds. Real simple. Now, the third type of two-factor authentication is the one that Google is using to auto-enroll you now into two-factor authentication with your Google account. This is the one that's going to automatically be turned on. And this is why it's so important that you have your recovery phone number in your Google account set correctly, and that should be the phone number for your cell phone. And what's going to happen with this is Google is going to use what we call a push notification. If someone tries to log into your account, and that could be you, you'll simply get a notification on your cell phone. And there will be a message saying, is someone trying to sign into another computer? And you either say yes or no to this and allow them in. That's all. So it'll be so simple. There's no text messaging. There's no app. There's no anything there. It's simply a push notification to your cell phone, and it will, and you say yes, and that will let that person into your account. That's called a push notification, and that is what Google is using for your account in the auto-enroll process. And the fourth and final way of two-factor authentication is actually by using a key system. This is what Google uses for employees at their account, and it is not hackable. This is actually a physical key that you plug into your computer, and it authorizes your account. All right, I want to leave you with 2 tips. Tip number 1 are backup codes for your Google account. When you go into the security section of your Google account, into where you set up two-factor authentication, you'll find an option for backup codes. These are codes that you can generate. They're 8-digit codes, but are permanent codes that you can use. You can create this, print them out, and keep them in your wallet for future use. If you lost your phone or had a problem getting into your Google account, you can simply use these permanent backup codes, but they can only be used once. So you have 10 options. You can go back into your account and recreate a further 10 8-digit backup codes and reprint them. I have these codes printed and laminated. They sit in my wallet behind my driver's license. All right, tip number 2 has to do with tracking. In my studio here, I rarely get challenged with two-factor authentication because Google tracks me, and I like that. The more Google understands who I am and can distinguish me from the bad guy, the better it's going to protect me. Those of you who use browsers that cloak you, those of you who use VPNs or programs that strip out cookies from your browser, yes, they do keep you anonymous, but that makes it difficult for Google to understand who you are. So yes, you will get challenged more with the two-factor authentication request. Ron Brown with Tech for Senior, 4 types of two-factor authentication, part 1 and part 2. The link to part 1 will be in the description below. Until we meet again, please practice safe computing.
Please like this video and subscribe to our channel.
Phone conduction headsets. I'm Hewie Poplock. There are several types of headsets or headphones. First, there's the on-ear headphones. Then there's the over-ear headphones. And then earbuds. And finally, bone conduction, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Bone conduction headphones. I first saw one of these headphones advertised, and they were quite inexpensive, so I thought I'd try them. I've been using them ever since. This past Thanksgiving, for Black Friday, I purchased an Aftershok's OpenComm wireless stereo bone conduction Bluetooth headset with noise-canceling boom microphone. And I'm using that microphone to record this presentation. Ludwig van Beethoven, the famous 18th century composer who was almost completely deaf, discovered bone conduction. Beethoven found a way to hear the sound of the piano through his jawbone by attaching a rod to his piano and clenching it in his teeth. He received perception of the sound when variations and vibrations transferred from the piano to his jaw. This has proven that sound could reach our auditory system through another medium besides eardrums, and the other medium is our bones. Beethoven took advantage of the bone conduction as well. Did you know that Beethoven lost his hearing? And he used a rod to hear his piano. The sound vibrations from the piano traveled down the rod through the bones in his head and into his ear. So how we usually hear. Normal sound waves are actually tiny vibrations in the air. The vibrations travel through the air to our eardrums. The eardrums in turn vibrate, decoding these sound waves into a different type of vibration that are received by the cochlea, also known as the inner ear. The cochlea is connected to our auditory nerve, which transmits the sound to our brain. How we hear with bone conduction. Bone conduction bypasses the eardrums. In bone conduction listening, the bone conduction devices, such as headphones, perform the role of your eardrums. These devices decode sound waves and convert them into vibrations that can be received directly by the cochlea, so the eardrum is never involved. The sound reaches the ears as vibrations through the bones or skull and skin. This is a benefit for people with hearing loss. Many cases of hearing loss are due to damages to the eardrums. Since bone conduction does not use eardrums, people with hearing difficulties would be able to hear clearly again with bone conduction, provided that their cochlea is in healthy and normal condition. Generally, hearing loss could be described into three categories. That would be conductive hearing loss, perceptive hearing loss, and mixed hearing loss. Conductive hearing loss is associated with faulty transmission of sound, and it's mostly due to damages to the eardrums. Bone conduction is able to aid a conduction hearing loss because a bone conduction device performs the role of the eardrums. Perceptive hearing loss is associated with the difficulty in sensing the vibrations by the auditory nerves at the cochlea. Bone conduction is less effective for perceptive hearing loss. As for mixed hearing loss, it's best to suggest a trial in advance to find out whether bone conduction could be an aid to mixed hearing loss because it differs among individuals. There's no shortage of headphone brands. You could probably name a half a dozen off the top of your head. There's also no shortage of headphone designs. Earbuds, canal buds, lightweight headphones, and noise-canceling headphones are on the market. Bone conduction technology has been around for decades, as we said before. You might have seen it used in some hearing aids. Google Glass adopted this technology as well. It has only recently been repurposed for headphones in the early 2000s. What about hearing aids and headphones? Well, can you physically wear headphones with hearing aids? Will headphones make hearing loss worse? The answer is depends upon your hearing aid, and it depends upon your headphones. Top of the ear headphones is best for completely in canal, CIC, invisible in canal, or it can be used for in the ear, in the canal, and open fit receiver in the canal. However, feedback is more likely to occur with these types of hearing aids. Top over the ear headphones best for in the ear, in the canal, and completely in the canal, invisible in the canal. Can also behind the ear receiver in canal. However, feedback is more likely to occur with these types of hearing aids as well. There are many types and brands of hearing aids. If you wear them, check to see what, if any type of headset will work. Many newer types of hearing aids will interface with your devices through apps, and a headset may not be needed at all. It's not likely that any style of earbuds are going to work with hearing aids. The issue is quite simply that the hearing aid is already sitting in your ear or ear canal, so putting another device in there just isn't going to work. Bone conduction headphones is best for in the ear and in the canal and completely in the canal and invisible in the canal. Yes, headphones can cause hearing loss. No, they don't have to if you use them properly. If wearing your hearing aids with headphones, be careful to turn the music down, as the music will be amplified. If the headphones push on the hearing aid or it sits too closely to the hearing aid, you may experience feedback, a whistling noise coming from the hearing aid. This is an indicator that you either need to reposition the headphones or are unable to wear those headphones with your hearing aids. Noise canceling or noise isolating headphones should be your primary choice. The biggest problem with headphones is that people turn the volume up a lot higher than it needs to be, primarily because of background noise, people talking on the bus, loud coworkers, and so on. Noise isolating and noise canceling headphones help to remove the background noise so you don't crank up the volume to dangerous levels. Regardless, you should always use a simple sound volume meter app that tells you exactly how loud your music really is. You should aim to be lower than 85 decibels if you are listening to music for an extended period of time. The benefits of bone conduction headsets: number one, increased situational awareness. This is the big one. Immersing yourself in the latest playlist or a compelling audiobook is a great escape when walking, running, cycling, or driving, but it's a habit that greatly increases the risk of an accident. Closing yourself off to the outside world also closes you off to trains, horns, and people hollering at you. More comfortable fit. Do your earbuds fall out? Do your ear canals hurt? Are full-size headphones too heavy for your morning run? Jamming out to your favorite tunes through your cochleas while still enjoying the sounds of the outside world through your eardrums is a unique, double-layered listening experience that is unlike any other. It's almost like having a superpower or background noise for your life. The benefits of bone conduction headphones are something you'll just have to see or hear to believe. My AfterShokz OpenComm headset specs include frequency response from 20 Hz to 20 kHz. The battery life is 16 hours of talk time, 8 hours of listening. The charge time is about 1 hour, and it's water resistant IP55. The microphone is a DSP noise canceling boom microphone. And as I said, I am using that headset to record this presentation. So the microphone may have a little bit different sound than you normally hear in my recordings. So the pros of having a bone connection headset, or the particular one that I'm using: comfortable for longer wear, extended battery life for long phone calls or long walks and listening to music and so on. Boom microphone enhances the call quality. Not all headsets have microphones. Cons. The shape is hard to store. Some sound bleed may limit private conversations. Just because there's bone conduction, there's still noise coming from headsets that are bone conduction, especially those little flat ones that I wear in bed. You can actually hear them in the room. IP55 rating could be better as far as waterproofing, and the sound quality is lower than other types of headsets. So if you're looking for really good quality music in your headset, bone conduction is not what you are looking for. Here's another example of a different brand of bone conduction headset, and I'm Hewie Poplock.